to today's video. I'm wearing the same shirt as last week because why not? Today's video is going to be a you know you're South African when. So I know a lot of people that watch my videos are from South Africa and are my South African friends. So I figured why not do a video on this, and plus I think it's interesting to see the differences from the different countries, I suppose. So I have about 5 or 6 you know you're South African when things, and yeah, let's get into it. You know you're South African when, even if you don't fluently speak Afrikaans, there is always an Afrikaans slang word in every sentence, or not every sentence, but probably at least a day you'll say maybe 25 to 50 words. So like I'll just randomly go ach nee man or something like that in just Afrikaans slang words. So yeah, you know you're South African when load shedding becomes a joke. And even though I'm not in South Africa anymore and I'm in Scotland and we don't have load shedding, it's like if the lights turn off all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh, okay, like I'm used to it. We're used to being in darkness. And I know that's what people just think of South Africa or of Africa, I suppose, but it does just end up becoming a joke because you do get so used to the lights just kind of going on, and then you would just go, ugh, it's gone. I am going to do a proper video when I start college and everything, but when there's like, you know you're South African when certain slang words, I don't know where I was going to go with this, but I just said there's certain slang words. So I'm in Scotland, like I said, and here they say blue tack, whereas I'm like, what the hell is blue tack? It's press stick. But apparently they just call it blue tack here, or like the sticky stuff, but I call it press stick. And then the next one is the robots, so the traffic lights. Everyone calls them traffic lights here, and I suppose flashlights or lights, and I'm like, no, it's a robot. But then you only really understand it if you're South African or if you've been to South Africa and experienced it. But yeah, and this one I put in just as like a jokey thing, but the word babalas, so that just means you're drunk or you're like drunk. Yeah, it just means you're smashed essentially. You know you're South African when Friday nights either become a jawl or a braai. Jawling, I think it is a South African term, but I think they've now adopted it in America and it's like, nee man, jy kan nie. It's South African. Jawling is just partying, going out to a club and stuff, and braai is what people call a barbecue in the rest of the world, but we call it a braai, where you braai boerewors, or in my case, because I don't eat meat, we braai like veggie burgers and mashed potatoes, not mashed potatoes, potatoes like wrapped in foil and everything. I miss my braais. Now this one is a typical South African thing, and you know you're South African when you know the difference between just now and now and now. I'm probably gonna get this wrong because I usually just say the words, but just now can mean anywhere between half an hour to 5 hours. Now is kind of the same, and then now is never. And those are probably switched, but you can literally say to someone, they'll ask you something and you say, oh yeah, I'll do it just now. But then just now can happen in like 3 hours. But then you say, kom no, or kom now. And that kind of means a bit more persistent, but yeah, those are also still probably completely wrong, but I hope you get the gist of it. I've just written down taxis. So here, or in I suppose other countries, they say mini cabs or like mini buses. Nee man. We call it taxis. And taxis are usually like 8 rand, 9 rand. And it's public transport with, I suppose it's a lot more common. Not common, but it's a lot more regular than the buses in South Africa. But taxis. The next one I have, and the last you know you're South African when, is shame, or ach shame man. Here in Scotland they just think it's like complete like thing. Why would you do that? So it can be something to, you've busted your toe, ach shame man, or that dog is so cute, ach shame man, that dog is so cute. So ek weet nie But that's all of the you know you're South African when. I added this little thing in, but people would always ask me who didn't know me personally, and they wouldn't hear that I'm proper South African, but they'd kind of hear, I suppose, an English twang in my voice. Don't know how, because I've been told I have a South African like a heavy South African accent, but I basically put here, but you're South African. Yes, I'm South African because I lived there from the age of 6 to 18, and I'd been there every single year since I was born, but I was not born in South Africa. But I identify myself as South African, and that's how I like it, because I don't really have a connection with England. I mean, I do, because most of my family's there, and I did kind of grow up half of my life there. But when people say, what are you, or how, like, what nationality do you identify as? I'm a South African. All my friends are South African. My mom grew up in South Africa. I mean, my dad grew up in the UK, but I grew up in South Africa. My brother grew up in South Africa. My stepdad, my mom, we all grew up in South Africa, and that's how I identify myself. I mean, I say South African, but I'm a South African British, or British South African. I identify myself as South African. So just a little side note, I am South African. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week in another shirt. Bye guys.